Broken screen. Imagine you are walking down the street, your smartphone slips out of your hand, and you hear that awful crunch as it hits the concrete. When you pick it up, the screen looks like a crushed windshield. This is a devastating moment for any user, but as an information technology professional studying for your CompTIA A+2 2012-01 exam, you must look past the shattered glass. You have to understand exactly how a mobile device screen is engineered so you can diagnose the true extent of the hardware damage. To achieve your perfect score of 900, you must know that a modern smartphone screen is not just one simple piece of glass. It is a highly complex, microscopic sandwich made of 3 distinct layers glued perfectly together. Understanding these 3 layers is the absolute key to diagnosing a broken mobile display. The first layer is the outer glass. This is the hard, protective top layer that your finger actually touches. Its only job is to protect the delicate electronics underneath from scratches and impacts. Directly beneath the glass is the second layer, called the digitizer. This is a microscopic grid of nearly invisible wires, which acts as the touch sensor. It detects the tiny electrical charge from your fingertip and translates your physical taps into digital coordinates for the processor. At the very bottom of the sandwich is the third layer, the display panel. This is typically a liquid crystal display, LCD, or an organic light-emitting diode, OLED panel. This is the layer that actually creates the light, the colors, and the picture you see. When you are presented with a broken screen scenario on your certification test, you must be able to identify exactly which of these 3 layers has failed, because the symptoms are very different. If a user drops their phone and the screen looks like a spiderweb, but they can still read their text messages perfectly and the phone still responds to their touch, only the outer glass is broken. The device is fully functional, but it is dangerous to use because microscopic shards of glass can cut the user's fingers. However, if the screen looks perfectly intact with no visible cracks, but the phone completely ignores your finger when you try to swipe, the digitizer has failed. A broken digitizer can also cause a frustrating symptom known as ghost touch. This happens when the damaged microscopic wire grid misfires, causing the phone to randomly click on applications, type letters, or dial phone numbers entirely by itself. Finally, you must recognize the symptoms of a broken display panel. If the phone takes a heavy impact, the delicate LCD or OLED layer will crack beneath the glass. When this happens, you will see a large, dark, ink-like blob spreading across the screen where the pixels have permanently died. You might also see bright, vertical colored lines shooting from the top to the bottom of the display, or the entire screen might just remain completely black even though the phone is vibrating and receiving calls. For your 2012-01 exam, you must understand the correct professional repair procedure for a broken screen. Years ago, technicians used to scrape the broken glass off the digitizer to save money. Today, because mobile devices are incredibly thin, the glass, the digitizer, and the display panel are optically bonded together at the factory using a heavy, clear liquid adhesive. They are fused into one single, solid piece called a display assembly. Therefore, if any single layer breaks, your only professional and reliable troubleshooting resolution is to replace the entire display assembly. The repair process requires heat and patience. Because mobile devices do not use screws to hold the screen in place, they rely entirely on strong, waterproof adhesive tape. A technician must use a specialized heat gun or a heated repair mat to carefully soften the glue around the edges of the phone. Then, wearing safety glasses to protect their eyes from flying glass shards, they use a thin plastic pry tool to slowly separate the broken screen from the metal frame. You must be incredibly careful during this process not to push the pry tool too deeply into the phone, or you will puncture the dangerous lithium-ion battery sitting directly underneath the screen. Once the broken screen is removed and the tiny ribbon cables are disconnected from the motherboard, you simply connect the brand new display assembly, apply fresh waterproof adhesive, and press the phone back together.